I'm 26 and unemployed, and take it from me, it is really not a nice position to be in because it affects your mental health and your overall confidence as a person. And honestly, I did think by now I would have been in at least a job. I did not imagine myself to be unemployed when I was younger, but here we are now. And I really don't want you falling into the same trap like I have, because you will waste the valuable years of your life. And you can't afford to do that, because these younger years of your life are really golden, because they will set the trajectory and foundation for the success you will get in the future. With that, I want to share with you what I believe are the mistakes that led to me being unemployed that you should be aware of, and I hope that it will save you years of your life. Growing up and going through my school life, I never really indulged in any extracurricular activities. So I never done any sports, I never went to any after school clubs, and I never really hung out with my friends either. And I kind of thought that it was pointless, so I never really done it. And as a result, I feel like I became quite lazy and unmotivated to do anything really, even if it was studying, which at this point I had all the time in the world to do it, but I still chose not to. And I feel that this build up of boredom led to me to turn to games, which I would spend a lot of hours on because it was my escape from reality. And I would not only just be playing games, I'd be watching TV as well. And I feel like I became dependent on this because without having these in my life at that time, I would be a lot more bored, and it would just become like a vicious cycle. I never gave myself a chance to learn more about myself because I cut off so many avenues, and I never learned what I liked or disliked or picked up on anything interesting such as a hobby or learning anything else that may have led to a potential career path. As a result, I became quite a mediocre student with not much passion for anything. So if I was in your position now, I'll try to treat life as an adventure and pick up on new things and see where things can go. The next mistake I feel which led to me being unemployed is not picking up on many opportunities, and this is something I have repeated quite a bit throughout this channel because it is so important. Honestly, by not picking up on opportunities, I really lacked on a lot of experiences which even to this day I've not been able to experience. And in the process, you will be able to communicate with a lot of other people, you may make friends with others, and this gives you an amazing chance to build your interpersonal skills, which is something that will carry you in your life later on. And it is so important, especially when you start to work. You're gonna need to be able to learn how to speak with people, and by picking up on opportunities, it will just give you constant exposure to that environment. And how many of you have been in a position where you've been called up to do a presentation at school and you've not been able to do it because you lack those interpersonal skills? You don't have the skills to talk with people. And I'm not saying this to be harsh, it's just because you lack exposure to it. You just need to get more exposure to it and you'll become used to it. And this is something I lacked when I was growing up. Just know that some experiences are fun. Not everything has to be super productive. Some experiences being fun may lead to you discovering a passion you may have had for something, and this will then give you an opportunity to progress that further, whether it be a career or you may want to make a business out of it in the future. You don't know where things will end up, so the best thing you can do is just show up. And you know what they say, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So I would say to you to get out of your comfort zone and start indulging in different activities. The next mistake never really made me unemployed, but is something I feel I should have given more importance to, and that is budgeting properly. Now, a lot of you may be in a position where you're receiving some sort of funding, whether that be through a student loans company, maybe your family is supporting you, or maybe you've picked up a part-time job and you are saving some money and you're trying to sustain yourself. But not being wise with your money and spending it all over the place is such a bad thing to do. And this is something that I was doing while I was going through my school life. I would be spending a lot of money on make money online courses, miscellaneous things, and things that I felt were important, but after buying them, they were just a waste of money. And in general, just being quite loose with my money. I didn't really have great spending habits, and honestly, I can only say now that I wish I just had more money while being unemployed to spend on the things that I really want to. And it doesn't necessarily have to help me to get a job, but even to be able to spend things on the stuff that I like, for example, hobbies or any interests that I have. And honestly, it is not a nice position to be in when you don't have money to spend on yourself. So if you do find yourself in a position where you are spending a lot of money on the things that you really want, I would say dial it down, and I would say try to be more sparing with your money usage, and try to save that money for a time when you may really need it. The next mistake is quite a big reason as to why I am unemployed at the moment, and that is that I lacked a lot of effort with my studies. Honestly, I never really took my studies that seriously, and that was reflected through my grades whenever I got them. And I was just distracted very easily, and again, I was just unmotivated, and I didn't have a vision for myself. And I feel that that is such a big thing when you are going through your school life. You don't want to just be thinking about the books all the time. Try to give yourself a vision. What are you aiming for? What you're trying to work towards in your future? And these are important questions that you should have answered when you are going through your school life. And because I lacked that vision, I just found the idea of studying for hours so boring, and I would do pretty much anything to stay away from it. I can say this now, but if I had worked a lot harder and gotten better grades, then this would have opened the doors to a lot more opportunities, and I would have been able to apply to more universities, and I would have just had more options to study different subjects. If you are in that position where you had to apply through clearing to a university course, you'll know that is not a nice experience to go through, because you never met your university choices, and it's like you being left the scraps, like when you go late to a restaurant, you know. It's not a nice position. It's quite embarrassing, really, and I don't want any of you to experience that. So what I would say to you is establish good study habits that will allow you to stay consistent, and try to do things outside of studying that are a bit more fun, so that you can stay more consistent with the process, and this will help you a lot throughout your exam times as well. So the last mistake I want to share with you, which I feel is the biggest reason as to why I'm unemployed at the moment, is just too much time waste. Honestly, I think this is quite a big problem in society nowadays, that there are too many distractions that lead to people wasting a lot of time. I mentioned gaming before, but social media is a large part of it, and also just spending too much time on your phone, on your computer, whatever else it may be. I lacked a lot of time management, which led to me not spending time on the things that were going to be beneficial for my future, whether that be studying, which was the biggest thing at the time, which I didn't give enough time to, whether that be indulging in any hobbies or interests that may pique my interest and lead to me learning new skills, and just in general spending time reading about different things, which may have led to me finding a new career path. And I mentioned this before, but I think because I lacked that drive and that vision for my future, then I fell victim to wasting time quite a lot, which is something I really don't want you to do. I really want you to spend time on the things that are going to progress you, and eliminate any distractions that will not help you with your future. By no means am I saying to not have any fun at all. I would actually urge you to have a bit of fun, especially if it will help you to stay consistent, and it will help you to stay away from boredom. All I'm saying to you is to have a good work-life balance, because this will allow you to stay consistent, and it will help you when you are progressing throughout your life. So those are pretty much all the mistakes I wanted to share with you, and honestly, if I could rewind time, I would have done things so differently. And if you don't want to be unemployed like me, then I urge you to not repeat these mistakes. If you're younger than 23, then you still have a lot of time to turn things around. It's not late, but I would recommend that you act quickly. And hopefully by knowing all of these pitfalls, it will save you years of your life. And honestly, I just wish I had someone back then tell me the same things that I am sharing with you right now. If you would like to know what my thoughts and opinions are on being unemployed, then be sure to check out this video over here. Until the next time, take care.